Hi, welcome back to Jaw Dropping. Today we're going to do one of our interview style videos. We have Jennifer in front of the camera, and I'm Jess, your host. I'm going to be asking her about some One Piece theories, and she's going to dive deeper, and I might jump in. So let's get it started. First up, we have ropes, knots, and anchors. So tell me about that, Jen.
Okay, so we have ropes, knots, and anchors. This is a key component that I believe that we are all missing in the One Piece theory community. To start it off, anchors. Now, and when Luffy was a child, what shirt he wear? An anchor shirt. What was he called? An anchor. And what was he not allowed to do? Get on the pirate ship. Why? Maybe because he was sinking as an anchor, but we don't know. And I ain't get to say this yet, but in the One Piece logo, we have an anchor, a knot, and a rope. Anchor. That's about all I got on anchor, but it's a coincidence? I don't think so.
Let's talk about rope.
Now to go into rope, you got to take it back to, first of all, Water 7, where we had our first rope user, which was Paulie. Paulie, he was like, rope, But yeah, so rope, because he had rope attacks and all that. We got Paulie. And it's very coincidental that the rope user is on Water 7, which is a city that is sinking due to Aqua Laguna, or dare I say, flooding. So it's a city that's soon to be turned into a ship. And rope is very important because he had, godly lawman. All I'm saying is rope. And then also with ropes, the Joy Boy hockey knot rope. It was able to connect the past and the present by rope. So rope has to be important. It's lasted from 800 years ago. It's an ancient artifact. And then how much rope is needed just to sail the high seas. Rope is a very important thing to sailors and to anchors if we go back to that. Rope is attached to the anchor because how you gonna get the anchor back up to take off? All I'm saying.
Now let's go into knots.
Now to get into knots, we have to start off by first going with the first weird knot thing we've ever seen, which was Nami's 2-year time skip training at Witheria. Now at Witheria, they had that little circle, that little rope that had knots in it. And the knots released wind pressure. Certain amount of knots, certain amount of pressure, certain amount of intensity. So what was up with that? Y'all ain't talking about that enough. And then to add on to the mysteriousness about knots, we have the fact that knots, the Joy Boy hockey knot, that connect the past and the present and the future with the ropes. So y'all not talking about knots enough, because what was up with that? To the anchor, and there's a knot there, and that's also in the One Piece logo. All I'm saying is, y'all need to talk about ropes, knots, and anchor points a little bit more. We ain't seen enough theories on that.
Sailors are dependent on knots. They needed to know a lots of knots to sail. I wonder if all the Shaw heads know how to tie different knots.
That was a good question. Good statement. Because we ain't never seen them tie no dang knots. We ain't never really seen them do that. Can they all tie different knots? Because as sailors, it's tying knots is imperative to living. You can't live on the high seas and not know 1,500 knots. There are knots on knots on knots, and different knots do different things. So that's the next thing is what knots they know and what knots can do certain type of things. Is the Joy Boy knot different than the Witheria knot? And is there another knot that does something else other than all this other things?
Now, could we say knots are the tone, impact, whatever, reject dials type? In terms of different purposes, but same thing?
I see where you're coming from and I see where you're going. That's a solid question. I don't believe I have the answer for that right now. I believe that is up to you, YouTube theorists, to, go into that a bit. I'm not sure. That was a good one, though.
Now, we have spirals, such as Sanji's eyebrows, devil fruits, and whirlpools.
So, I saw a post online. Somebody was like, are spirals knots? And I was like, baby, that could be true. Because what the fuck is up with spirals? One of our main cast members, the left arm of the Pirate King. The left arm of the Pirate King got a swirl on his face. Every devil fruit has a swirl on it. And then to get into it, I mean, I haven't read it personally, but I know that Oda has answered. He has had an SBS thing where somebody asked him about the whole spiral thing. I think it was about Sanji eyebrows. And he was like, spirals are so important for the world. Because I mean, high key, whirlpools are spirals. And they're talking about whirlpools, because I'm going on a tangent. We have Annie's lobby. Tell me that ain't a whirlpool, okay?
Lelouchia.
Lelouchia is a blank hole in the, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it fact check me, but I believe it looked just like Annie's lobby without all the sun. And then, where was I going with this? Whirlpools, Annie's lobby. So, okay, so I saw this person online and they wrote, are spirals knots? And then it made me think there about Annie's lobby. And I'm like, what if somebody like the Ray that, or I mean, I'm assuming it's a Ray that shot down on it, tied a knot underneath it, which restricted the water. And that's why we have a hole at Annie's lobby. There's just water coming down to that knot. And if we undo that knot, do we start to feel, you know, do things start happening? Do things come back to normal? There are a whole bunch of knots at the bottom of the sea that helped us to sink. Not helped us to sink, but made the world sink. But back to the spirals. Y'all need to talk more about that because like every devil fruit has a spiral on it. That's like just part of the design. And we need more things on that. So are spirals also knots in disguise? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure y'all could think about it and find out, because I won't. I mean, I do ponder, but.
Ginny, whole situation.
Okay, now tell me y'all not talking about Ginny's situation enough, because am I tripping? Okay, now first of all, we have who abducted her? Why was she on their radar? Now I have a guess of who I think abducted her, Figureland Shamrock. That's just what I believe. Okay, why was she abducted? I mean, I know she was a revolutionary, but she ain't the only one. Why her, of all people? I mean, they kidnap people all the time. They do it all the time. Why Ginny? Okay, second of all,
How did they get her?
Yeah, how they get her? You ain't tell me how y'all got her. All I know is that she just got abducted out the East Blue. How? Did y'all set an island on fire? Was it when, was it at Nami's old kingdom? Where was it? Where'd she get abducted? How did she get abducted? How they get her? All I need to know, did they jump her? Because I mean, that's a very God night thing to do, to jump her. All I'm saying. Did they jump her?
Why did they give her to St. Garcia, Saturn, for experimentation?
Okay, because why? You already done stole her from the East Blue, okay? That's done. Somebody impregnated her, which I believe just cannot be Saint Saturn. Why give him Ginny after the fact? Is there something up with Ginny that we don't know? Why her? Why experimentation on her? After I went through all the trouble of going to kidnap her.
All right, next point. We have red hair in general. There are no redhead characters.
I know I'm not tripping. And I feel like it's been confirmed. The type of redhead that Shanks is not, we don't see that often in the world. Only other redhead that's like the same hue as Shanks is Kid. And y'all know how Kid is, okay? Why is red hair so uncommon?
And speaking about Kid, why is he going after Shanks?
Right.
When they are the two most popular redhead characters.
To be honest, as I'm saying, they're the only hue of actually like, to me, that fiery red. Everybody else is like a red purple, a red pink, a red-ish. They're not red. Like Nami's a red head, her hair's orange. No, Shanks and Kid have red hair. Red. Okay, now that's established. It is weird. Like, why Kid going after Shanks? Y'all not talking about that enough. I mean, I just want some speculation. They don't even have to be right.
My personal theory is that I think Shanks is part of the Joy Boy lineage. seeming how a lot of important characters, spoiler if you are caught up to God Valley, like Blackbeard and Ivan and Ginny and Kuma were all seen there, and it's called God Valley. I mean, Joy Boy, Nika, Godlike, Joy Boy, yeah. And rest in peace, Shank Mama Magnolia. Bye.
So on Jessica's part, Magnolia, Shank's mama, having red hair, because for a long while we all thought that it was Garland that had Fraudlin that had red hair, and no, it was his mama who came from God Valley. All I'm saying is, why was she on God Valley?
And to that point, why would someone like Garland
why would he procreate with impregnate
this red-headed lady? And not only that, she was known for her red hair.
Right, and then to steal the kids afterwards. Insane. Why keep the red-headed kids?
And speaking of Shanks, why does Bonnie look like Shanks in the older gender-bent version? Shamrock, come to the front, sir. You got some child support to pay.
Shamrock, I know that was you. I know you went to Jenny. I ain't say that, but I know you did. I know it was you.
And it'd be even worse if it was Garland, because, alrighty.
Wouldn't put it past them, but it would be worse.
Now let's talk about this. We have clones.
Let me just start it off by saying we all know that everything Vegapunk's doing now has been done before and better. So that means that if he's cloning people, there are clones from back in the day that are better than what he did. So that means they was cloning back in the day. Okay, that's just perimeter. Now,
we have IE, such as the Seraphim.
So the Seraphim, they're clones. I'm just very much in questioning I still want to know, how did they get the DNA to make these said clones?
Because especially since like Mihawk, since he don't really rock with the military. So it's interesting how y'all got his blood. Go ahead.
How do they get this from these people? I just know they don't know, because Jinbei was surprised when he saw a smaller version of himself. How did they get this man's DNA? Yeah, they need to let me know, because I know it was unethical, wherever it was. But on top of that, so we have the Seraphim, and Vegapunk had finally got to the point that he could take devil fruit powers and put them into the clones. So that means there are clones back past 800 years ago that they were just cloning devil fruits with them. Like these must be the ultimate clones. And who are these clones? What are these clones? Can y'all? I mean, I just want y'all to guess. I don't need to be right, but like, what do y'all think was cloned before? If Vegapunk had cloned people. And then talking about clones, we got Stussy.
Her and Whitebeard's child, Weevil.
So my thing about Weevil is Weevil's like a double entree to me. I mean, I don't know if that's the way to say it, but Weevil is, to me, a clone. There ain't no way that that's a child that came from regular means. He is a clone. And that means somehow we got Whitebeard DNA. Don't know how that happened, but I can make a guess, Stussy. We got some Whitebeard DNA. And then they must have took Stussy's DNA to make this thing. I feel like that's like they just had to. I mean, unless it's like just a clone of Whitebeard. But I'm like, if they made a second Stussy, that means they have Stussy's DNA. So maybe she's inside Weevil a bit too, making it their child, their clone thing, child, whatever. Did it grow up? Did Stussy's clone grow up? Can Vegapunk make clones that grow? Because the Seraphim not done growing, but they're like the new fun reiteration. They like the 2.0 on top of Weevil and Stussy. So yeah, clones. We need to talk more about clones. Cause like, who or what or is a clone?
Next up we have Big Mom.
Okay, now Big Mom. I have a lot of questions about this lady. So first of all, what kind of person is she? Cause she can't be no human. Ain't no way a human is that large, that big, that resilient, embodied. I mean, what is she? I don't believe that she regular. If she's regular human, what happened to her in her childhood to make her the way she is? Because we all know, we've seen it. She got a little devil in her somewhere. It is something that take over her mind, to take her over the edge. So that has to have happened in her childhood. And I'm like, is that part of the reason her parents went and dropped her off at Elbath? And then second of all, why Elbath? Third of all, are those her parents? Third of all, those her parents are just villagers. Who are them people that dropped her off? It's no way y'all made that. It's no way y'all made her. It's no way. On top of that. But why'd y'all drop her off at Elbath of all places? Was she from somewhere close to Elbath? How did she get there? Why did she get there? First of all, I don't know if I read this, but what part of Elbath did she land on?
Maybe people knew that was the land of the giants a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's because she was giant. Maybe it's because she was huge as a child. But like, why? I don't know. I'm just, backstory I need. Okay, so who, what, when, where, how, why her? And then she on Elbath. Where did Strusen come from? Where did he come from? How he know about Elbath? How was he surviving on Elbath? To go up here and start grooming her from that childhood age, from her trauma. Like, what? Where he come from? Okay?
To consolidate all that, put him underneath the jail.
Put him under the jail, because he groomed that girl. He groomed that poor young thing. But like, where, how, why? How did he find out about her? Okay? Crazy. And then, I got a lot of questions about Big Mom, so it's gonna go on for a second. How did they find Toto Land? Did it used to be something else? Did they take over Toto Land? Was it always a desert island? Or did she make it into a desert island? Who like watched over Toto Land when she would go out and about? Yeah, I just got a lot of questions about Toto Land. Like, it don't make no sense, for real. How'd she get it? Was it something there before?
We have another good question. How is she able to birth so many kids?
Yo, she got like 1,001 kids. And she, like just pop, 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 pop. How is she able to birth all these kids? Because I feel like as a regular human, at least after number 10, you can't make no more like that. You ain't making 60, 70, 80, hundreds of them. Shoot, she's still making them, if I believe so. Like, it's just crazy. I don't understand it. What kind of person is she? What is she?
And speaking of the children, we have, where does she find these men to have children with?
Where does she find these men? Who is willing? Willing seems like a crazy question, because I believe you don't have to be willing with her.
And that is trauma makes more trauma. Put Strusen underneath the jail.
But back to the whole, the baby daddy things. Where does she find these baby daddies? Like, where does she find a 3-eye? Where does she find Pudding Daddy? Where?
Where does she find a tontata to procreate, and how?
Where does she find a tontata?
Because that's like, spoilers for Elbath, how does Scopper and Ripley make their child? It's like the same size distance between Big Mom and that.
Love. From what I've been told, love finds a way.
Okay.
Which is crazy, because I know Big Mom don't love them men. But one more thing about Big Mom. Is that a demon in her? Like a emu demon type of thing? Is it a demon? Is it kind of a demon? What's up with her? Ooh, now that we said that, if that is some evil demon inside of her, does that have anything to do with them people that took Brooke, the long arm, long legs? They know something about that, about demons and shit. Like, demons inside Big Mom. Questions.
Last of lineage, such as Buccaneers, Lunarians, and now, most recently, Lelouchians. Question 1, what did they do?
Just to reiterate, because I've thought of some more things that are the last of their kind. We got Lunarians. We have Buccaneers. We have O'Harans. And then Lelouchians, and Giants, Onies the Davies. And so Some of them, they're not at their last singular person that we know of. Like Lunarians, we only got King. Buccaneers, we only have Kuma. O'Harans only have Robin. We have the Lelucians is only the people that like came with Sabo. Oh, the God Valley people. They ain't no more of them except for the people that, were saved. So, first of all, isn't it crazy that there ain't no more of them? You can't make no more. Birkins! There ain't no more Birkins! Where's the Birkins? Save the Birkins. We don't... I'm hoping that Mad Monk Rouge might be the last one, but like we are running out. There's no more. I don't know what to say. That's just, it's very sad. So sad. Did the same thing happen in Annie's lobbies? Good question. I would love for y'all to let me know. I believe so because what was in that hole is island sized. So it's gone. That means the people that lived there were gone. There's not even a last of their kind. There is none. Crazy. But now I have to go back to the last question because I didn't answer it, which was why? Why are they last of their kind? Can y'all answer that for me? What do y'all think they did again to be like the last? I mean, we know the O'Harans, what they did, which was try to find the truth of the world, which is supposedly a sin. The Lelucians don't know what they did, which seemed like nothing. I mean, start a rebellion, but that wasn't enough. That's the question I want y'all to answer. Why? Why such gruesome things had to happen to them?
Next we have Oni.
Now, the question to me is, are there any more?
Now let's bring it back real quick. First question, what are they? Do you have any thoughts about that?
What are the Oni?
No. Or can you just expand upon?
No. That's my question. What are they? I don't understand the Oni.
Can we expand upon this next line? What makes them so special in comparison to everyone else?
What makes all of those people we enlisted the last of their kind? Why? Just why? Why? Like, what did they do? Like, it's just so crazy. Like, why? What? Like, not how, because I mean, but just like, what did they do? I don't know. But I would love for y'all to guess why.
And we have, where are they hiding in the world right now for Kaido to gather so many? Very good point.
Where are all the Onis? I mean, how did he find Pepe and Ulti? Where were they hiding? Where is like King? Where was King at to be the last Lunarian, that we know of? Where was he hiding at all those times? Buccaneers, where were they at all this time? It's like the Davies. Where have they been at this whole time that y'all couldn't find them for 800 years? Which turns out to be God Valley. I'm not to be this person, but as the world government, y'all say y'all the world government. Have y'all not explored this whole world? I mean, you've had 800 years to touch down on every island. How have y'all not done that yet? I don't know. But, questions.
The
three-eyed people. Where are they? Because like I said in Big Mom's section, how she find a man to sleep with? How she find a father to pudding? Where are they?
Can we talk about their special powers?
The three-eyed people, what can they do?
Other than read the poneglyphs.
Right, but is it just the poneglyphs? Do they have this third eye just to read the poneglyphs? That doesn't sound right. It seems like it has to do more than that, which is my question.
We have mountain bandits.
Okay, so my man's Luffy was basically raised by a mountain bandit. The people in the beginning of the show, which is the reason Chase lost his arm, that was doing all that in that bar, they were mountain bandits too. We're not talking enough about mountain bandits. I don't believe they get their shine. I know they have to be in like places that have mountains, that have civilizations. They're the pirates of the mountain. We're not talking about them enough. The two mountain bandits we do know to have set such a tone in the story, to be so they're an integral part of the story. And I don't feel like they get enough love. Because, I mean, before the world was flooded, people had to be mountain bandits before they were pirates. If Joy Boy is the first pirate, there had to be mountain bandits before that. Everybody had to have mountain bandits. Like, where there's people, there's crime. So there's crime, most likely for mountain bandits. Who are they? Are they like, is that... I don't know, but I just want to talk about mountain bandits more.
All right. Thank y'all for joining us for another one of our interviews. My name is Jess. That's Jen. And we shall see y'all back another time here at Jaw Dropping. Bye, y'all.
Bye.